Well, let's go from farming to the produce we buy on the shelf. Here in the UK, we're looking at the retailers and the critical Christmas period. In an hour or so, we'll get updates from the UK's biggest supermarket chain, Tesco, as well as Marks and Spencer. On Wednesday, Sainsbury's reported a jump of more than 9% in sales over the past 6 weeks. That sounds pretty good for demand for essentials. Groceries were booming, but Sainsbury's was the biggest loser on the FTSE 100 yesterday because it revealed sales in general merchandise slipped. Clothing was down. Argos had a dire Christmas. Well, let's unpack this with Natalie Berg, founder of the retail consultants NBK Retail. Good morning, Natalie. So it kind of tells us what we think we know, which is we're buying essentials. We can't live without our sprouts, milk, turkey. But we are choosing not to purchase the more expensive, non-essential items.
That's right. Look, it's been a tough couple of years for the supermarkets. They've had skyrocketing inflation and volumes have been in decline. Shoppers have had to spend more to buy less. Well, the good news is that for the past 8 months or so, we have seen a deceleration in food price inflation. So food price rises are beginning to ease, certainly good news for the sector. And this year, volumes are expected to return to growth. Now, if we look specifically at Christmas was provided some much needed respite for the supermarkets. I think the supermarkets have all pretty much had a bumper Christmas. And we're going to hear from Tesco, as he said, in about an hour or so. And I think Tesco, as the largest supermarket chain in the country, has done a stellar job of defending market share. They've had the budget supermarkets like Aldi and Lidl nipping at their heels, trying to steal shoppers away and tempt them with their lower prices. And I think Tesco's done a really good job of stemming the tide of shoppers, switching to the discounters. They've been investing in lower prices themselves. We've seen price cuts, we've seen them price matching the likes of Aldi and Lidl, and we've also seen them really invest in their club card pricing. And I think all of these things have really helped to convey a strong value message during this critical trading period.
How will M&S do? That will be interesting because for years M&S Food has kind of kept M&S going to a great degree. It's gone through a bit of a crisis with fashion and people moving away from M&S, and it's, it really tries it very hard to compete with many online high street names, etc. So your thoughts on M&S this Christmas?
I think M&S continues to go from strength to strength. And you're right, they used to be a tale of two halves with their food division generally performing pretty well, and especially at Christmas, because this is a time when we all look to treat ourselves. We trade up to those premium ranges. We don't skimp on food at Christmas, even in this kind of challenging climate. But I think their non-food division, although we have seen their turnaround strategy is absolutely bearing fruit, and they really are, they're making the comeback of the century in the retail world. But I think that we will see somewhat softer demand. We will have seen softer demand for their clothing and home. This is reflective of what we're seeing across the industry. You rightly pointed out Sainsburys' softer numbers with their clothing sales yesterday, as well as the Argos division. And we are continuing to see shoppers look to rein in on that discretionary spend. So I think it'll be a little bit of a mixed bag, but on the whole, I would say that M&S will have done really well, and they are expected to be the Christmas winner this year.
Interesting. As you say, a comeback for M&S, which was once the darling of the high street and the darling of the FTSE 100 once upon a time. Natalie, thank you very much. Natalie Berg there, founder of the retail consultants to NBK Retail. So it's a really, really busy day.